Hey everyone, bringing you a bit of breaking Dahua news here. Mohammed Hijab has had his um, speaking engagement at an Irish university cancelled, which I think is quite hilarious on one level. I've got the Trinity News, which is the college kind of newspaper, sorry, the university newspaper, and it goes into the details of what's happened with poor old Mohammed Hijab. So let's have a look. Um, right, so speaker event featuring homophobic and misogynistic YouTube star called off due to security concerns. Now, I think that's an accurate title other than YouTube star. I wouldn't call him a star. I'd call him pain in the neck, really. But yeah, star, that's a bit much. But yeah, homophobic and misogynistic, absolutely. Um, in a statement to Trinity News, MSA President Hassan Ali said, "While we acknowledge that this decision may disappoint some members of our community, we believe it is the best course of action to ensure the safety and well-being of all." Ali added that the society remained committed to providing meaningful and inclusive events that promote unity and peace in Trinity going forward. I mean, does anyone think that unity and peace is exemplified in somebody like Mohammed Hijab? I mean, what a vacuous statement to make from this Muslim Students Association guy. Anyways, we continue. Um, we welcome feedback from our members and the wider community on how we can better serve our mission. I want to emphasise that our role as the MSA community is to serve the college community. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is why we pursued this event to begin with, but it's also why we are cancelling it. It's not about our personal preferences and who to invite to speak, but ultimately about what the college community wants. Though the event had been approved by college, a spokesperson for college clarified that it was a student society event organised by students. The event had been approved, however, it's become clear that it's grown beyond capacity, so the event will not go ahead. Um, what's worrying though, I mean, let's assume that's true, that this was so popular that they just didn't have capacity for that. What does that say about the Muslim students in not just this university in Ireland, but as you'll see later down in the article, it was a collaboration with more than one university Muslim student association. So this is really worrying. If he was this popular that the students wanted him to come, I mean, we're talking about university students here. They're supposed to be a cut above in terms of their intelligence, in terms of their ideas about the world. And there's a big clamour to get Mohammed Hijab, of all people, to come and talk at your event. In a press release earlier this evening, campaign group Students for Change condemned the Muslim Student Association's invitation to Hijab, pointing to his links with misogynistic influencer Andrew Tate, as well as his views that feminism has harmed women. Well, I mean, his views are far deeper than that. I mean, yeah, you've only got to look at the kind of Islamic scripture that he follows to see his true views of women. I mean, it goes a lot further than just saying feminism has harmed women. Um, Hijab has also compared being gay to incest, charming, and has called the LGBTQ plus community harmful, saying it will lead to the collapse of civilization. Um, yeah, that sounds about right. That's his attitude. So great booking from the Muslim Student Association. The event, which was to take place in the Edinburgh Theatre in Trinity, was a collaboration between seven, get this, seven Islamic student societies across Dublin and Maynooth. So get that though, not just one Islamic student association, seven, seven, seven of these student associations across universities in that part of Ireland. They want Mohammed Hijab. I mean, what does this tell you about the Muslims that are at these universities? That this this is supposed to be inclusive, diverse Ireland. Experiencing the joys now of having Islam becoming more prominent in the country. And look at who they're looking towards. Mohammed Hijab. This is the most popular guy you're going to get amongst university educated Muslim students. And then, people say, oh, well, no, you shouldn't worry about Islam. You shouldn't worry. There's no problems with integration and adopting Western values, in this case, Irish values. This is what the university students want. They want Mohammed Hijab, who is preaching, Salafi Sharia law for the UK kind of bullshit. You know, this is just incredibly worrying. These are the most educated Muslims, and this is what they want. In a statement endorsed by the Trinity College Dublin Students' Union, Gender Equality Officer, blah, 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 whatever, said, such an individual has no place at our college, and that we cannot tolerate intolerance. Well, I mean, this is the issue, isn't it, with Islam, and particularly the kind of Islam that people like Mohammed Hijab promote, and that all these university students are eager to listen to and obviously support. It is the worst kind of intolerant kind of ideology, and you've got to be bumping up against this more and more. An example of that tolerance recently in a school in the UK with in Yorkshire. Some kid brings a Quran into the lesson, not into the lesson, into a school. He gets scuffed up a bit, a little bit torn, and the police are called. It's declared a hate incident. The kid gets death threats over a Quran that got a bit scuffed up. So these things are serious, and now Ireland's getting a kind of taste of, well, what's to come. Anyways, where are we? Yeah, it continued. The existence of LGBTQ plus people, trans people, and women's rights is not up for debate, and our community cannot give it a platform. Well, I mean, yeah, I'd agree. I mean, nobody's right should be up for debate. Certainly not women's rights, gay people's rights, etc. So yeah, absolutely. But I disagree about giving it a platform, insofar as, I mean, look, number one, freedom of speech is important. It's extremely important, even for somebody as obnoxious and hate-filled as Mohammed Hijab. He should have his right to talk his bullshit. And to be fair, you have something to gain from that, even though you don't realize. See, this is a problem with these university students. They're kind of quick to call for no platforming, but you're denying yourself an opportunity to see reality as it is. I mean, wouldn't you want to know what the your fellow Muslim students actually believe in, what they're following in terms of their ideology? I mean, you you need to know if, for example, they're incredibly homophobic and essentially think that you're going to be, the gay students are part of the thing that's going to lead society to collapse. Yeah, I think you should probably know that about your fellow students, and whether they've got these horrible views, not just about gay people and women, but about apostates, ex-Muslims in particular, but all non-Muslims really. They're seen by Mohammed Hijab's form of Islam as basically, at best, second-class citizens. And and any of you students might be atheists, under Sharia law, death penalty for you. So yeah, you need to know this stuff. And by no platforming, you've missed an opportunity to get on record not only what Mohammed Hijab's saying, because he's not really relevant as an individual, but you need to know how many people are going to pack out that auditorium wherever they were going to talk. You need to know whether there's hundreds or thousands of the Muslims students that are supporting this. So the fact that this individual is marketed as an academic despite having no credentials is furthermore concerning. That's that does make me laugh. I mean, yeah, I mean, Mohammed Hijab fancies himself as like a scholar and academic, and he gives himself like a new degree. I don't know, every 18 months or something. He seems to have a new degree at his website. So it's good that you're recognizing, this guy's got no credentials whatsoever. It's absolute bullshit. Yeah, so I agree with that, and that's quite funny. The group called for the invitation to be rescinded, saying that it was ready to escalate its actions if it did not do so. So, again, I would say if you just want to protest it, fair enough. But this ready to escalate, again, you're kind of making yourself look bad if you're not clarifying that, because that almost sounds like you. Well, I mean, if you're ready to intimidate to stop someone from speaking, then you're just giving him ammunition. He's going to come and do his sob story about how he was cancelled and how it's Islamophobia and he's being oppressed and all the rest of it. So it's another reason you need to give him a platform, because you need to show who the bad guy is. And in this case, it's definitely Mohammed Hijab. Let's have a look. Hassan Ali's, this is the Muslim Student Association guy. Ali's statement to Trinity News also expressed that his primary objective is to foster unity and peace within our college community. Yeah, well, again, you only got to look at Mohammed Hijab with his, stomping up and down in the street, causing trouble, whether that's in London or Leicester or wherever else. This is not a man of peace. I mean, this is a man that sows division everywhere he goes. Where are we? Yeah, one of our key responsibilities is to organise events that provide valuable insights and perspectives for our members and the wider community. Well, and see, this is this is where I agree. It will provide you with a valuable insight, a horrible one, but a valuable insight into what obviously many of the students believe in that college. So you really should have let the guy talk. You really shouldn't have pushed him out. Make sure you get it recorded, get people in there, see who's agreeing, see who's challenging it, and then and obviously do your protests or whatever, but let him talk, because this is what you need exposed. Yeah, he continued. Over the years, it was made clear to us that Mohammed Hijab was a highly demanded speaker within the college community. See, I like the way this Muslim Student Association spokesman is saying it became clear to us. Like, this guy is not a direct supporter of Mohammed Hijab, or that he was unaware of him. Yeah, absolute. I call bullshit on that. I mean, he's trying to put some distance with it between it now, because it's become a public thing. But yeah, all these student associations are likely to be led by people who support Mohammed Hijab. I mean, we've seen these kind of reactionary views in all kinds of different Muslim student associations and in different colleges and stuff, where they've invited these kind of people before. So yeah. So, trying to distance yourself now, or you were made aware of it. No, you supported it, mate. Anyway, as such, we began planning the event months in advance, investing our time, effort, and resources to ensure its success. Yeah, so he was obviously highly wanted in the university, and that's troubling. Hijab, a self-described comparative religionist and philosopher of religion. Yeah, he's such a pretentious git. I mean, I have to say. I think I prefer Douglas Murray's more accurate description of him. What do you call him? A anti-Semitic street thug, part-time stripper, full-time liar. Yeah, I think that's a far more accurate description of Mohammed Hijab. He's been accused multiple times of anti-Semitism, homophobia, inciting hatred. In September last year, Hijab was one of the leading figures at demonstrations in London that were condemned by anti-Semitic Jewish. As condemned as anti-Semitic by Jewish groups. Hijab was also criticised for a direct and deliberate act of incitement following a video he filmed with another YouTuber where he asked a Jewish person to condemn Israel or their actions during the Jewish Sabbath, and then asked him, did we not learn anything from the Holocaust? Hijab was also accused of encouraging vandalism on Hindu temples, inciting violence against members of the Hindu community. That happened last year in Leicester. Him and his pal Ali Darwell went down there to cause shit. So, yep. According to Ali, all tickets to the event were sold out within 3 hours. I'm like, oh, Jesus. 3 hours was all it took to sell out that event. I mean, I would be curious to know how many of the Muslim students that represents in that university. I mean, even with the recent waves of migration into Ireland, there can't be that many Muslim students at that university. So the fact that it's been sold out in 3 hours, yeah, I mean, you've got to be worried, haven't you? Of it being publicly announced on February 2nd, which was a testament to our community's interest in the speaker. Yeah, it certainly is, and that's not something you should be proud of. For 27 days, we received no complaints regarding the event until yesterday. We were informed in the morning by Tom Hegarty, chairperson of the Central Societies Committee, that the Student Union had received numerous complaints regarding the event's potential impact on community cohesion. Well, yeah, I mean, just look at when he turned up in Leicester, trying to stir shit up and trying to make an already tense situation worse. So yeah, I mean, I can sort of understand that. A video circulated yesterday evening on Instagram, which fashions itself as a queer and alternative platform, blah blah blah, and whatever this Instagram account is, showing hijab, claiming that one great benefit of LGBTQ is that it's a really powerful way for them to destroy their own civilization from within. Yeah, I remember seeing him said it. I can't remember if this was his conversation with Daniel Hikachu, an American Dawa Muslim guy of probably even worse mentality, to be honest. I think it was in their conversation. I might be wrong on that, but yeah, I recognise those words. In another viral clip online, hijab was recorded stated, generally speaking, men and women are equal, but there are exceptions. I mean, yeah, I mean, the exceptions are in Islam. He's also been linked to riots in Leicester, England, in which local Hindus were violently targeted due to their religion. Regarding this incident, he described his actions as a Muslim patrol in Leicester. Yeah, I mean, he did turn up there like a little fascist, basically, in his jack boots, trying to stir up shit. Hijab has also previously collaborated with Andrew Tate, a social media personality and businessman who's been arrested in Romania in connection with human trafficking. Hijab interviewed him last September after Romanian authorities had already begun investigating him in connection with human trafficking. Yeah. So yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know, Andrew Tate supposedly converted to Islam. And so that's another proud arrow in your quiver for Islam. In January 2023, following the arrest of Tate, Hijab shared an article in support of Tate via Twitter. Yeah, well, I mean, in terms of the allegations, yeah, I mean, okay, nothing's been proved as of now, so it's all just allegations. But yeah, he's. I mean, even before that, Tate wasn't exactly a great character in terms of his behaviour. But I've addressed that in another video. Actually, I'll put that in a link to this one. But yeah, so what to make of all this? I mean, on the one level, it's quite funny because you know that Hijab's going to release a video bitching, complaining that he's been cancelled, that the West is a hypocrite or freedom of speech. Remember the details in this article. It's actually the Muslim Student Association stopped the event. Now, you could say he wasn't banned from by the university or anything like that. Now you could say, oh well, they're under pressure from the other student unions and stuff like that. Maybe that's true, but you don't normally see Muslims, particularly of this kind, these kind of Salafi types. They don't normally bow to that kind of pressure. I mean, they're normally the ones intimidating other people. I mean, again, like another great example was the teacher a couple of years ago in Batley, again in Yorkshire, who was driven out because he showed a picture of Mohammed in the classroom in a religious studies class, and hounded out of school, still in hiding, as far as I know, death threats, all the usual. So I mean, it's funny from that point of view because he'll claim victimhood for this, but yet he'll support that kind of intimidating behaviour. Not saying he's officially supporting the death threats or anything, but he'll support that kind of pressure from Muslims to get their way in civil society, and yet he'll be the first to bitch and moan. Guaranteed, there's going to be a video on his channel soon, paint himself as the biggest victim in the world, how everybody's a victim of Islamophobia, etc., etc. So I just think it's quite funny. It's when this guy cares nothing about freedom of speech, but he just uses it as a club to beat people over the head with. And but yeah, he wasn't cancelled, but yeah, I just it's funny from that point of view. And any problems for Mohammed Hijab, not exactly going to cry tears over, but I do think it's a missed opportunity in another sense, because I think you do need to see what's in store if his kind of Islam is this popular amongst your student population, amongst Muslims. Then you've got some tough times ahead, Ireland. So yeah, it would have been better to have him do his talk, get it on record, so you really know what you're facing. You need to know what's kind of popular amongst your student body. So yeah, that's it anyway. So it's just an impromptu video. Yeah, on Mohammed Hijab getting sent packing from Ireland. So yep, I'll see you all in the next one.